Hi everybody. Sorry for not uploading an episode for almost an entire month. Things got a little crazy there. We have this episode and then 2 more, and then we're going to be back on track. So those are coming very soon, so stay tuned. In the meantime, here's the episode. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 10 of Burn Down the Sandcast. It's your boy Miko, aka Alex, aka the original RIPVisceral, featuring...
Hi, I'm Mike. I had a lot of trouble editing the last episode. I'm also at Rick Rolls Royce on Twitter.
We'll talk about that.
Don't at me. We also have...
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm at Cumtosis on Twitter. You'll find me, I promise.
You're not Cumtosis, though. You're Zumtosis.
Don't tell them that, though. That ruins it.
Hello, I'm Andrew. You can find me at Concordantly on Twitter.
And yeah, Game Bun is away this week.
Yes, he is doing homework stuff.
He has too much homework to do.
Also, he started his second job, I think? Or he starts it tomorrow?
He definitely didn't start it, because if he did, he would be there right now.
That's true. Anyway, so I guess we're gonna talk about Pokemon with guns? That's,
no.
My understanding? Okay.
Well,
All
you
right.
see, friend of the show, Toddy, decided to search Google to wake himself up.
We're not, this is not what's happening. We're not
And
doing
what
that.
he found, what he decided to search
Stop,
for
I'm
was
just gonna edit this out.
Pokemon with
Everything
guns.
that you're saying right now.
And he found lots of Pokemon with guns. It was
None
kind
of
of
this is going to be
interesting.
in. This is all just for your own amusement.
I was explaining it.
But it's not going to be in, though.
Okay.
Well,
All right,
this
what
is
did you
off
do
to
this
a roaring
week?
start. So you guys all have to go first, because
me.
mine is going to be long.
Oh, yeah, I had a feeling.
See, I looked at these Pokemon with guns this week.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah?
Anything else?
My cat.
Man, you sound like a real straight
You
shooter.
did that your whole week? That's
that.
Yeah.
a lot. It's not a lot to do in a whole week. I'm
My
not
cat
gonna lie.
jumped on me last night, and he slashed right along the edge of my fingernail.
Oh,
And
you're lucky he didn't have a gun.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I was watching The Tick from Amazon.
Oh, he doesn't like the tick?
Cat, man, I don't know. He's extremely stupid.
That's why he attacked you.
Speaking of cats with Pokemon and guns, also, I did just remember that I do have a friend who has a Meowth persona who drew a picture of himself holding a gun with the caption, "I won't fucking hesitate."
Oh, my God.
It was really good.
God forgive me, I'm back on my bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
This week, I didn't edit the podcast, and then I did. And then there was a brownout, and I lost all of it. And so now I have to re-edit the entire thing, and I screamed very
Get
loud.
the UPS, my dude.
We're sorry, there was a mishap, but it happens, you know. We didn't lose the audio, it's still there. We can still get the episode up.
I just have to do all of the editing again.
And if you're hearing this, the episode already went up, so I guess all is forgiven.
No.
Are you going to do them out of order? Is that what's
It's
happening?
definitely not forgiven. That's more like it.
Well, that's okay.
And I don't know, I didn't get my CPAP this week, even though I thought I was going to, because I called the company, and they were like, yo, your insurance has to approve it, because apparently my insurance has to approve every single step of this process, and it takes 7 to 14
yeah.
business days for them to do that every time.
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to get it for another week and a half at minimum. So that's cool. That was basically what I did. Maggie?
Unfortunately, I have some bad news for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Last week I told you about how we were looking at Crack House to live in.
Yeah, the Crab Shack.
We're not good enough for Krabby's Crack House, so...
Oh, what the hell? You're not getting the Crab Shack?
But we did literally, like, I think yesterday or today get approved for another one.
Oh, nice.
That's very tiny. It's very tiny, but it's like 1,600, I think.
Oh yeah? Do crack addicts live there?
No, it's being, like, completely renovated, so
Wow.
when we move in, it'll be brand new.
Yeah, but, like, did they used to live there?
I don't know. Seeing pictures of it, it's fucking dirty before they fixed it up, so probably. It's my guess.
Any crabs at
I
the new
mean,
location?
considering it's around here, probably crackhead somewhere.
No, crabs. Are there any crabs at the new location?
Yes, lots and lots of genital lice.
I actually don't think it's as close to the water.
Oh, that's
Because
probably
the other
good.
one was literally on the water, so...
The place is just lousy with them.
Any wharf rats?
Probably not, hopefully.
Feels like you're missing a lot of stuff at this new place. No crabs, no wharf
I don't
rats.
think I am.
That was probably why the rent was so high.
There's not piles of trash on both sides of the house.
That's an improvement. Yeah.
Yeah, who are your neighbors?
I have not seen the place at all.
Walk over there, check it out.
I've basically, my room would either be the basement that I'd have to turn into a room, or I'd have to live in a room that can barely fit my bed in it.
You should definitely live in the basement. That's my
So
advice.
I'm not gonna live in the closet room. That's
Yeah.
basically a closet that they count as a bedroom. I'm not gonna do that. I
No,
don't
live in the
think.
basement.
Now I gotta live in the basement.
Hey, it'll be nice during the summer. It'll just be really awful during the winter.
Yeah.
Oh god. I can't put an air conditioner down there, can I?
No, that you won't need
No,
that.
no. Basements are generally cool, like, naturally, because you're, like, underground,
Yeah.
right? It's the heating situation in the winter is what's going to be
The problem
bad.
is it's going to be ice
freezing.
cold.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, but I like it to be like, I don't know, 30,
And you're
40.
good. Yeah, you're good.
You like it to be
Yeah.
30? Like, below freezing?
Yeah. I
Okay.
can sleep in that. I can't sleep in, like, 50 is, like, too warm for me.
50?
I ain't here to judge,
Yeah.
but that's a little messed up.
are you talking Celsius?
Listen, I gotta sleep naked in freezing cold. That's how I sleep.
Are you sure
alright?
you're
It's
not
gotta
like a
be-
polar bear?
Maybe that's my persona all along.
Oh.
Maybe Miko's gonna enlighten me to the world of furries.
Like
and
a
I'll be
polar bear with chitin crab armor?
Look, I've dropped enough hints at this point where if you haven't started looking into furry on your own, you're not going to, so it's on you at this point to go
First of all,
investigate.
wait, Mike. Some crabs live in the Arctic, so I could still technically be a crab.
You could be a king crab.
That is correct. So that was my week, pretty much. Nothing really else happened.
Okay.
Oh, the guy that declined us for the house, said there were other people looking for it, and that's why he declined us, because it got taken, and I know no one else is looking at that crack shack, so...
Yeah, what the fuck, man.
He definitely wanted to try to get, like, over $2,000 for it or some shit.
Wow. Good
No.
luck. And Miko had a lot of a week this week.
I had not a great week, so,
It's an understatement.
yeah, so we record the podcast on Saturday night. So we record the podcast, I send my audio to Mike, I go to bed. I wake up in the morning at 7 a.m. to my mother letting me know that my grandmother has passed away. Yeah, so, her health had been rapidly declining over the past couple of weeks. This was kind of expected. It's kind of a relief because she'd kind of, like, she had an infection that, like, whenever she got an infection the past couple of years, like, her mind would just go loopy and she would start talking nonsense. So for this one, that happened and the infection went away and her mind did not come back.
Oh.
At all?
At all. So,
In what sense? Like, we're talking, like, full-on dementia?
full on dementia. So,
Wow.
my aunt came up from South Carolina. My grandmother did not recognize my aunt. She didn't recognize my brother.
Oof.
She recognized me and my mother, which was weird because my brother goes to the nursing home to visit more than I do.
Oh. It's not, you don't pick and choose. It's just the way that it is.
It was a little rough. So on Tuesday night was the wake, and on Wednesday morning was the funeral. So, I just want to explain a little bit about my family so that you understand where I am coming from as a person, because my family is very strange. So I want you to understand that, during this funeral, So I have a cousin named Scott, and he has autism, and not
You're
like
talking at the actual service, right?
at the actual service, and
Right.
he doesn't have like mild autism. He is like he cannot speak autism,
Gotcha.
but he's also
my cousin has that.
Yeah, he's also brilliant. Is the other thing. It's just that he can't talk, and he's constantly like waving back and forth because like he's restless, and only
Right.
really my aunt can understand what he's saying
Okay.
because she's my aunt.
She's lived with
And
you. Yeah.
yeah. And he's actually older than me. He's about 33.
Okay.
So he wrote maybe the most beautiful poem I've ever heard, and my aunt read it for us, and it was like, holy shit. It's just like all this beautiful imagery about like a bird, like wings folded and flightless, and I like could not deal with it. It was a little much.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah, so that's
Also extremely unexpected.
Yeah. I also want you to know a few things about my grandmother, which is she was very selfish. She thought everything should always be about her.
That sounds like my grandma.
Yeah, so
That sounds like one of my grandmas, yeah.
That sounds like both mine.
my grandmother grew up in a situation where until my grandfather passed 6 years ago, she was never ever alone. Ever. So she's terrified of being alone.
I can believe that. Most people
So
are.
she always like because of this, because she was an only child, she was never alone. She married my grandfather, and they like lived in the same house that she grew up in for however many years until my mom decided, no, I can't
Wait.
drive to Elizabeth every day.
Fucking what? She got married and...
So she grew
What
up in a
happened to her
two-family house, and yeah, so her parents lived on the top floor. And
Gotcha.
when I was growing up, she lived on the bottom floor. And after my great-grandparents passed away, my aunt moved in on the top floor before
Did
she
you get
moved
to
to
meet
South
your
Carolina.
grandparents?
When I was very young.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, she always thought that everything should be about her, and also she was very stupid. And I don't... I feel bad talking about my grandmother like this, but it's absolutely true.
You know what? You have to tell
Yeah.
the truth.
So, her maiden name was Holmes, and she thought that she was related to Sherlock Holmes, who is, for anyone who doesn't know, not a real person. Because she was told that once when she was real little, and she believed it up until the day she died.
It's kind of good, honestly. You don't want to try to explain that to her near the end.
Yeah, so at some point my mother realized this and just, like, never said it to her. So, my mom and my aunt, like, how can I explain this one? So my aunt lives in South Carolina now, so she hasn't been up here in a while until, like, grandma got real sick.
Sure.
So she sent a picture to my grandmother, and my grandmother wrote on the back of it, Patty, the good daughter. And my mother saw this a few years ago.
Who does that?
My grandmother.
Whoa.
Yeah. And another thing is my grandmother cannot cook. She was maybe the worst cook in America. So if you've seen my Cooking Mama videos, you know that because I've talked about it. But my mother did not know that food could taste good until she met my dad. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from vis-a-vis my mother's side of the family. So if I'm a weird guy, that's why. Love you, Grandma. It's been a little weird.
My condolences?
Yeah, the good news about this is that, now that my grandmother has passed away, I can come out to the rest of my family without worrying about them spilling the beans. Because when I was young and Rosie O'Donnell came out as a lesbian, my grandmother loved Rosie O'Donnell. She stopped watching entirely. She, like, dropped it like a hot potato.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's very prevalent in my mind. And I think she did the same thing to Ellen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, silver lining.
That was most of my week. This morning I had a midterm where I had to write 20 lines of Java code with a pencil on a piece of paper, and that sucked.
I couldn't fucking believe when you told me that. You're like, yeah, I have a midterm at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I was like, what?
It's for my online class. This is what everybody's been saying to me. It's for my online class. They have to schedule online classes on Saturday because they can't have overlap with the regular classes.
But you had to come in for it, though.
Yeah, and also the worst part about that is I have a Friday night class that gets out at 9 p.m.
What's the point of coming in for an online class?
NJIT just makes it so that your midterm and your final have to be in person. That's just how it is.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's pretty dumb.
Yeah,
that reminds me, like, I had my grandmother and my uncle die, and they had, like, the funerals on the same week.
Well, that's rough.
Last year in 2016, around, I think it was September. Yeah. I can relate.
Yeah.
I mean, my grandmother wasn't, how you described. She was into reggae.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
You got a cool grandma.
She got the steel drums out.
She was into reggae, kayaking, lived in Hawaii for a while, so...
Well, didn't you also live in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Smoking that pack of Lolo.
Probably did smoke weed.
Yeah, your description of especially the dementia stuff hits home because I have a grandma who's in a nursing home. Right, so I have two. I have like the one on my mother's side and the one on my father's side. The one on my father's side is the one who's really awful. I think I've talked about her on the podcast before, but she's the worst. She's the one who, like, you know, if she has a ethnic nurse or caretaker ever, or like a maid for her house, she assumes they're stealing and like. You know.
I remember this. So my grandmother's wasn't that bad about her racism, but she did say that when we moved her, before she entered the nursing home, we moved her closer to here, so that my mom wouldn't have to drive to like check on them all the time. Mm-hmm. And the first thing she said when she moved in is, "No black people. What a place I live in."
Oh my god.
Verbatim.
God.
My sister can back me up. She was there. Woof. So, what else can I say? Oh, that whole dementia thing where, for 5 hours I was sitting there with my grandmother, my aunt, and my mom, and my aunt was just constantly saying, like, so my grandmother was saying, "Oh, what's your name?" My aunt was saying Patty, and then my grandmother would say, "Oh, that's wonderful. I have a daughter named Patty."
Yep.
And just over and over for 5 hours, she just couldn't make the connection, and it was like the saddest thing I've ever seen. It was really rough.
So, very related to that. So, not that awful grandma, who also used to play Scrabble against the kids and try to crush them, and then gloat when she beat them. Not that grandma, but the one who used to be nice. She had a bit of a drinking and gambling problem, but she was a very nice lady. Who is my mother's mother. She is in a nursing home now because her dementias and her... what is it called? She actually has, like, Alzheimer's, basically. And it's so bad that... So, like, a few years back, my aunt, who's her daughter, and my mother's sister, passed away because she basically had liver failure because she was an alcoholic. So, she passed away, and this happened post her mother's dementia getting really bad. So, my mom is basically the only one who goes and sees her mom anymore in this nursing home, aside from, like, obviously my family. But, so since she's the only one she sees anymore, not only, unfortunately, though, she like, basically mostly knows who my mom is, but sometimes she doesn't. And she had a really awful moment where my mom had to basically explain to her that her daughter had died.
Oh my god.
She didn't know, like, who it was at first, and she didn't, like, understand. And then, like, weeks later or something, when she came back, she had, like, a moment of clarity and was like, you can imagine how upset you would be if you just found that out. And, like, also we're having dementia. So, yeah, you know, she doesn't know who I am. Every time I go there, it's really funny, though. Every time I go there, she like, flirts with me, and she says, like, I'm really handsome.
Okay.
Because she's like, oh, you're so... she doesn't, like, flirt with me in a gross way. Yeah. But, like, she's like, oh, you're so handsome. Oh, my goodness. Who are you? Like, wow. Like,
oh, no.
And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, Grandma.
Oh, man.
Hey there, young man. You into grannies?
Oh, no.
Basically.
Oh no.
So yeah, I know exactly what you're going through with that. I don't, she's getting on in years, but she's not. Aside from her mind, she's not deteriorating physically that much. I don't think so.
See, that's how my grandmother was until the past 3 weeks, where she got that infection and just didn't recover.
Oh,
she
that's
just
old
like
people
stopped
for
eating,
ya.
stopped drinking. It got really bad. So
Yeah. I wish it was the other grandma who had dementia, but rip.
Well, my other grandmother passed away when I was like 3,
Yeah,
so I never really knew her.
that's basically what happened with my grandpa's.
I swear, it seems like all the people I know online just have the worst parents and grandparents.
Oh, my parents are cool. I like my
My
parents.
parents are alright. They're a little boring, but they're okay.
Yeah, but I know a guy who's ex-Mormon, bisexual, and
That's quite a combination.
yeah, and both his parents are extremely right-wing Mormons.
Oh, of course.
So stuff like that, or
Alright, let's stop being sad and kick it into news. How about...
Yeah.
friend who's
about we
a
make that-
astrophysicist who has his Fox News watching dad, and it seems like it's everyone but me.
My dad says he one time met the King of Finland, and if that's not funny to you right away, you have to look it up, and there was one King of Finland in history, and that was in 1911. So, he definitely didn't meet him, but...
I mean, maybe he met his corpse one time, though, like the ghost or something. You don't know.
Oh no, he's a crazy man, don't worry.
Alright, hit me with that news.
Alright, so, for our first topic is, so, you know about South Park? You've heard of this thing?
It's terrible, yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently it's been going for like 21 years, I don't
It's
know,
like
but
the
they have a
Family
video
Guy
game
of
out?
Comedy Central shows, right?
Yeah, that random South Park Family Guy humor, right?
It's like the Dark Souls of puppets.
Yeah, so, here's the thing about South Park, is, that shit was real cool when I was in middle school. Now, maybe not so much, because it hasn't aged well at all, anyway.
it hasn't matured.
Yes, so, they made that video game, The Fractured Butthole.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, there was, that
Really
Denuvo
glad you said
DRM
it
in
that
there.
way, by the way.
Yeah. No, that's the correct way to say it.
Yeah, because
So-
everybody keeps going, the fractured butthole, and it's like, no, it's a butthole joke.
Yes.
It is very obviously a
That's the level
fractured
we're working
butthole.
with here.
Yeah.
Let me read the article, please. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
So, they released the Fractured Butthole, and it had Denuvo DRM, which was immediately cracked.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Within 24 hours.
I think less than that, actually. But, yeah,
Which is what within means.
Yeah. So, this is the same DRM that Sonic Mania had on the PC that was very bad and everybody hated.
Hey,
Oh.
it's not just Sonic Mania. It's actually a lot of games. And
It is a lot of
especially
games.
Big Activision and EA published ones have been going for this Denuvo stuff because they were basically like, well, and to their credit, at first it was very hard for people to crack. So there were a bunch of Denuvo games that came out, and it took people I think it was like a week or 2 weeks even, or so I think maybe even more than that for the early ones, for them to figure it out and crack it, which theoretically, although obviously numbers have shown this to be not true at all, but theoretically prevented early piracy of the games, right?
I mean, it doesn't. People just fucking wait. Let's be honest.
I totally agree with you.
If you're gonna pirate a game, you're gonna wait. So,
But that's their argument anyway, is that
Yeah.
it did this, and it did technically succeed in preventing that early on. However,
I mean,
just like with literally anything that is a security method, eventually somebody figures out how to deal with it, and they did. So once again, this shitty piracy prevention stuff, which gets worse and worse for the end user, which in the case of Denuvo, it's very bad for a number of reasons, but one big one being you have to always be online if you have Denuvo in your game in order to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Really?
which was a big complaint for everybody early on was, yo, if you have Denuvo in the game, you cannot play the game offline. It just won't work. So,
Is that only the most recent version, or?
I'm not sure.
Because
I think
I'm
it's
reading
been like
here that they used Denuvo in, Just Cause 3, Dragon Age Inquisition, Resident Evil 7.
well, yeah, don't you
Nier
remember when
Automata?
Just Cause 3 came out and a lot of people were having connection problems because the servers got overloaded and they'd get, booted out or something?
Huh.
Anyway, that was definitely a thing with Denuvo, I remember. But the point being, they once again, as always, the piracy industry figures out a way, and they did. And now Denuvo is worthless, and I bet you that even though it's totally worthless, people are still going to keep putting it in their games for a while, even though it sucks.
Life will find a way.
Yeah. So DRM probably not worth it from where I'm sitting.
Like, if you want to use DRM that's, like, Steam style, where it's just like, yo, you're on a platform, then what... And if it doesn't take up... Although Steam used to fuck shit up, but...
That's the thing, like, when your Steam game that's on Steam requires a DRM, that's basically requiring a DRM for
Twice.
a DRM.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
especially when it's like a Ubisoft game, which you have to run through like Uplay, so it's got like 3 fucking layers
Do
at that
not
point.
get me started with buying Ubisoft games on Steam. My dude, I can't tell you how upset it makes me every time that I start up Steam. Go to
I have
play an
literally
Assassin's
2
Creed
Uplay
game.
account. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, yo, launch this other layer. And I'm like, nah, though. Like, I don't... Just let me play the video game.
Let's see. Upcoming games with Denuvo include Assassin's Creed Origins, Sonic Forces, and Star Ocean: The Last Hope.
All right. Nobody cares about that except for Dry.
Oh, I love Star Ocean, The Last Pope. Yeah, anyway, I hope that Denuvo goes out of business, and then I hope that no other big DRM companies try to take their place, but they will, and then I'll cry.
I hope the publishers just realize that, like, shit like this is just punishing the consumer that is actually paying them money.
And also that piracy doesn't give a fuck about anything, because that's the whole point.
They're just gonna crack it. It doesn't matter.
They don't want to pay money
Yeah.
for the thing. They're never going to pay money. That's not...
Pirates
Yeah.
are who they want because a pirate is free.
Yes.
Do you know how DRM's going to go away? When publishers stop existing.
When money
well,
stops
That's,
existing.
that's about it.
Good luck with that.
We need
I mean, it's not good
advertising
luck with
budgets.
that. What was that game?
Full communism now.
The game where everyone was mad at, they thought it would delete your save if you died too much.
Yeah,
What-
Hey
what
You
the fuck?
Pikachu. Yeah.
Hellblade? Hellblade is a self-published game, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And that did pretty well.
I don't know if it
Yeah.
did that great financially, but yeah, sure.
I mean, I think it did. I think it did good enough.
Hey, wait. What was that? Was it Hellgate? What was that game that was like Diablo with guns and you're in London and...
Oh, yeah, Hellgate London.
Hellgate
yeah.
London, yeah.
Oh, man, I want to play that game again. Alright, anyway.
Anyway,
don't.
speaking of Hey You Pikachu,
That game ruled.
Yeah, speaking of hell,
I actually played
Yeah.
Hey You Pikachu in my youth, true story.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I know somebody who at one point was using a Hey You Pikachu microphone on Ventrilo.
Wow, that's...
Back in the
that
day?
rules.
Yeah.
My step-cousin owned the whole setup, and I played it with him.
Does he have the
I didn't
Pikachu
play-
in 64?
Pikachu 64.
Can you guess what we did when we played it? We yelled "fuck it, Pikachu."
Did Pikachu get upset?
Only if you yell it aggressively. If you just if you just
what
like
if you
say
ask Pikachu,
if you just say like fuck, fuck,
fuck?
then it's like, yeah, that's cool. But if you're like fuck, then it's like, oh, I don't.
So,
Pikachu's sad now.
yeah, exactly like a dog then.
Yeah. Well, no,
So-
because I sometimes if I say no or like not for puppies to my dog, she still gets really upset, especially when I'm referring to food. So it doesn't matter if I say it mean or not.
So anyway, I was trying to transition into an article, and then we went off on this Hey You Pikachu
Well,
situation.
speaking
So-
of Pikachu,
Speaking of Pikachu, they are making, if you remember, in Japan they have released a Detective Pikachu video game, and they are now making a movie out of it that is going to come out in the United States, even though the game hasn't.
so true story. I actually didn't remember that this was a video game until you just said that right now. And
Yeah.
Oh, you don't remember all the memes where everybody was saying that Danny DeVito should voice Detective Pikachu?
Yeah.
I remember that, and I remember Detective Pikachu being a thing, but not that it was a game.
Yeah, because, it didn't come out
Yeah,
here,
I
so-
thought it was like someone drew Pikachu as a detective.
Oh, no,
and
no,
it
no,
became a
it's
big
a video
thing.
game, man. Anyway.
It's like a Professor
s-
Layton thing, or
I think so.
oh,
So, let me tell you about this movie, right?
yeah.
So, there are 4 candidates to voice Pikachu.
Danny DeVito.
No,
No.
better. Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, Marky Mark Wahlberg, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I want Hugh Jackman to be the one, because I want him to sing about Pikachu to me.
So, other things about this movie is that it will be directed by Rob Letterman,
Wow.
who did the Goosebumps movie, Shark Tale, Monsters vs. Aliens, and screenwriters Nicole Perlman and Gravity Falls creator Alex Hirsch.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so I saw that and I was like, oh shit, it's on.
I actually agree, though. Out of those people, I would pick Hugh Jackman, just because, like, obviously you want Detective Pikachu to have an accent, right? Like, it can't just be American.
I think so.
Mark Wahlberg would be pretty good, just so I can hear him be like this.
But here's my problem. No Detective Cumberbund? Where's Cumberbuns at? Where's Cucumber
No, we don't
Butt?
need that. No, we don't need the cucumber.
But I want him to have
coming in
his
here.
weird Sherlock moment where he goes into his mind space, but he's Pikachu.
And there's just like math equations floating around.
Yeah, and there's just like math and like
Why don't
guns
they just get
floating.
why don't they get the original voice actor for Pikachu?
Why don't they get the original voice actor for Sherlock Holmes?
Because I think the voice actor for Pikachu is Japanese.
Correct.
Yeah, all he's got to say is Pikachu, right?
It's a she, first of all.
All
Yes.
she has to say is Pikachu, though.
I did say
right?
actress.
No, I meant because Zontosa said he.
Yeah.
No, because that's the whole point, is that Detective Pikachu can talk, apparently. Detective
No,
Pikachu
only
is
Meowth
like a
can
detective.
do that,
No,
though.
false.
No, only Meowth can do that.
Also, that's not even true. There's that whole episode of Pokemon
No,
where they're
it's
on
not,
the
it's
island
not true.
and they are all talking.
They can talk to each other, but they don't actually fucking say words. They say their name over and over
Mike,
again.
that's definitely like a Rugrats situation. In
No,
that
but
episode.
I think that's what happens, though. I think that's what this movie is that, like...
You think
What,
this
is
is an
Hugh
all
Jackman
Pokemon
gonna say
murder
Pikachu
mystery?
over and over again?
No, I think...
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
Pikachu talks to other Pokemon and does detective shit with
No,
other
Hugh
Pokemon.
Hugh Jackman is going to say the word Pikachu over and over again, but he's also going to sing it sometimes. So there you go.
If that was what was going to happen, then I would prefer if it was Detective Dene. So that he could say
No.
it to Dene.
No, it's Pikachu still.
Alright, well, Pikachu sucks.
Wow.
You know what else sucks?
This article you're about to read?
Pikachu.
The fact that EA has shut the doors on Visceral Studios. Now you might say, who's Visceral Studios? In which case I would say, I forgot who they were too, and I looked it up. And the answer is, they're the guys who made Dead Space, which are a good series of games until the third one. And they made some other things too that I can't remember. And basically, they were working on a really big Star Wars IP single-player game. I can't remember what that game was called. The one that they were showing off like a few E3s ago. It was like Star Wars 1998 or whatever, remember? And it was like they had that like one tech demo.
Oh yeah, the 1313.
1313.
Oh, yeah, 1313.
This is not that. This is something else. But yeah, it was like basically a Star Wars, because obviously EA has the Star Wars license.
I heard it was like a single-player action kind of Uncharted linear-ish thingy.
Uncharted is very much what I had heard, and basically it had Amy Hennig on board also, who
It looked neat, and then what did EA do? What did EA do?
They shut down Visceral Studios and said, "Oh, the Star Wars title, someone else is gonna make it."
Well, what they did was they said, we're pivoting to, which is everyone's new favorite business term for when you
Fucking over someone.
fire a bunch of employees. Yeah, we're pivoting because we don't think single player titles are really that great in the current market, and which is garbage, of course.
Yeah.
The real reason they did it is because it probably was costing them too much money or whatever, and taking too long, whatever reason.
Well, didn't they say something like they don't think it's a good enough service platform, which basically means they can't sell enough microtransactions with it?
Sure. Like, I think that may have been part of their investors' argument and stuff, but I've also heard, I forget who was tweeting about it, but it was also apparently this project was kind of a mess from the start, from my understanding. So it's not a total surprise that the project got canceled. But yeah, it's a shame that Visceral had to go with it because they did good work in the past. What I think is so telling about this though is just that it really feels these days to me like you just can't make a single mistake as a AAA under the wings of a AAA studio. Because
under the wings of EA specifically, I think.
Also, if EA's like, hey, wow, you made a great game, you want to make games for us? Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's a trick.
Yeah. If you a game dev and EA comes to you, say no.
They'll slowly fuck your company over until they're like, well, we can't use you anymore.
And
Bye.
they'll fire you. Yeah.
Yeah, just like Westwood.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Visceral. It's sad to hear. Hope those people will get jobs quickly because they did good work at a time. But yeah, it really feels to me like, they had that one sort of misstep, at least in my opinion. I don't know how it did financially with Dead Space 3. And then after that, it was just kind of like they put them on the back burner until the Star Wars project came along. And then when that wasn't going fast enough for them, just gave them the axe. Sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I have another article. And I have no transition. Here's the other article.
Speaking of droids...
Speaking of a heartless killing machine of an industry...
Yeah, speaking of heartless killing machines. So I think this might actually be wrong, this first part. But this may or may not be the same people who did the BattleBot stuff on TV a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
But it also might be some other thing that's just called Megabots. I'm not sure if those are the same people or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway... There was this big hubbub, I think it was like about a year ago or something, maybe even longer, about a theoretical giant robot battle, like in real life. And then they brought it together, I guess, somehow, and decided to do it. So, Japan versus USA giant robot battle happened and was streamed on Twitch. It was the Megabots team representing America, and I don't really know what the...
Curatus.
Yeah, no, that's just the name of the robot.
No.
I don't really know what the actual
It's
team
built by Sudobashi Heavy Industry.
But yeah, it was Megabots Inc. I guess are the people who decided they were gonna go for this. And yeah, it's like there was basically a Kickstarter. The Megabot people had a Kickstarter of like, hey, we're gonna make a big robot, so give us money. And literally, and then people didn't even give them enough money to finish their Kickstarter, but they made it anyway. And then they had this fight, and yeah, it was totally scripted. Unsurprisingly, because if you actually had a giant robot fight, somebody would probably get really injured or die.
Also, you'd be destroying millions of dollars of equipment.
Well, they did a little bit of that, to be honest with you, even though it was scripted.
Yeah.
I just want to say how I like how I'm guessing American one, since it's got like what I think is an American flag thing on it. I like how it just looks like a shitty knockoff Dreadnought from 40K.
Okay, so wait. So I'll just give a quick summary of how it went down. There was 3 rounds. It was the same robot for the Japanese people the whole time, called the Curatus, which was a red, sort of little bit Dom from Gundam looking robot with a gigantic punchy arm. Its left arm is just like basically a big hunk of metal, and it had, they had like wheels on the bottom. And then the American one started off with a different robot, not the Eagle Prime, which is the one you're talking about, Symptosis.
Oh my god, that's such a fucking bad name.
They had their other one, and I forget what the Iron Glory was the other one. And that one just didn't have any paint job. You could tell it was just a pushover bot, to sell. And that one, the round starts, and the Japanese robot rolled up and punched it with the left arm. By punched it, I mean slowly rolled into it with the left arm, and then it fell over backwards. And that was the end of that fight.
It's this is basically like big scale battle bots, which is not fun.
BattleBots is actually way cooler than this.
I mean, that's because they move around fucking quicker.
Well, and they actually try to destroy each other, whereas this is all scripted and shitty. So
RIP Jobberbot.
Theoretically, that destroyed Jobberbot to such an extent that it could no longer function. So then they brought in Eagle Prime, which what you're missing from just like looking at pictures of this thing, which you wouldn't be able to tell necessarily, is that it also has a giant eagle head on it.
Oh no, I see it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I see it on like the shoulder.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, and that one also has like a chainsaw and and like a big grabby claw arm
and a gun on it.
Yeah, and so whatever, the second round happens, whatever. It wasn't really exciting. Third round, they like have like a scripted segment where the Japanese one is shooting paintballs to quote unquote shoot the cameras out of the American robot, and it picks up a big piece of like the lighting structure for the thing and spins it around in front of the gun really slowly to block the shots of the paintball gun, like samurai shit. It was really stupid. And
my god, yeah.
And then they just push into each other and knock over more lighting over by the host table. And then that was it. And then the Americans won because they won 2 out of 3. And it was really bad. It was terrible. But they want to do more. And even though I think this is awful, I kind of want them to do more.
I mean, it is an amusing train wreck.
I just felt embarrassed watching it for everyone involved.
I don't know that you could watch the entire video all the way through unless you have no emotions and you can't experience embarrassment. But, you know, if you don't, it's probably good. It's like 20 minutes. You could watch it. You can find it pretty easily.
Well, you linked it in our group chat, so for us, it's very easy to find.
Well, I mean, we could link it for people, I'm saying, I guess, but, you know, anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was that. That happened, technically.
Speaking of fried chicken, that doesn't really work.
Speaking of fake shit.
Yeah, there you go. All right. There is a restaurant in Southern California that serves chicken and waffles, right?
Wait, I'm sorry.
Makes sense.
Before we move on, we need to give the name of this restaurant because they actually deserve to get smoked for this.
Okay, where
with our
Sweet
massive
Dixie Kitchen.
listenership.
Yeah, Sweet Dixie Kitchen in Long Beach, California.
Yeah, so in California, chicken and waffles is kind of a pastime. And so when you go somewhere and you order chicken and waffles, you assume they're making the waffles and the chicken themselves, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, I would assume that of any restaurant that I go to.
Yeah. So this turned out to not be the case. So somebody saw in this restaurant a kitchen worker run into the back with 2 giant boxes of Popeye's fried chicken.
And then they charged them $13 for this chicken and waffles. So then the people ate it, and I guess they had gone here because they had seen Yelp reviews or whatever, and they went and they were like, "Hey, is this just Popeye's chicken? Because I think it is." And the server was like, "Yeah, we're gonna cop the meal. Please don't tell people."
Yeah, just don't even try and hide it. Just say yes.
They didn't even pretend that it wasn't. Yeah, they just went, "Yeah."
Which is like, that's what passing off fast food as your own, man. Come on.
My favorite part of the person's review is that they said it was kind of stale.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not like they probably didn't even heat it up. They probably just went and bought it and then put it on the plate.
But did you read the owner of the restaurant's Facebook reply?
I did not.
No, that's not. No,
I think it was I think it was a reply to the actual Yelp review.
Yes, please hit me up.
I will read this now, because it is an amazing, like, this person is kind of just out of their fucking mind. Hi, Tyler. We proudly serve Popeye's spicy tenders.
No.
What?
You can't spin it that way.
No. This is a kind of a long one. This is a big paragraph. The best fried chicken anywhere and from New Orleans. It's not from New Orleans, but we could pretend it is.
Oh my goodness. It's Louisiana. That's the whole point.
which are delivered twice a day.
What?
We also, in case you need to know, buy our gumbo from a friend who sells it at a local farmer's market. And our jam, which we used to make here, we were introduced to a woman from Alabama who now sells the most wonderful jams, and as it has always, all in caps by the way, been our goal to feature local food and guest chefs here, we promote usually small batch local producers in our menu.
Popeyes
The exception is Popeyes. No, don't worry. We can't fry it at this location.
What?
Then why do you have a fried chicken restaurant?
No. It gets good.
Fuck, God.
We can't fry it at this location, and the fried chicken I love so much, and I ate a ton of it in the ATL, so I serve it. I don't know what that means.
What? You can't. It means I ate
Wait,
it.
hold on. This is like halfway through.
I also ate Popeyes in the Rockaway Mall food court.
In the ATL.
The Rockaway Mall food court, definitely.
Hold on. Alright, so we also don't grow our own veggies. We purchase those, and if we run out of our own slow-cooked pork, in order to keep our menu intact, I will order a batch of carnitas.
Carnitas.
I don't know what that word is.
It's Spanish for pork.
Carnitas from the best place in Long Beach, so that's them admitting they also order some of their other food from a restaurant. We don't mill our own flour, as we don't own a mill or wheat farm, and our coconut cake is made by our prep cook, who makes cakes for private clients. Just FYI. What? So whatever to you and your little review, like it was some great exposure, and whatever to you, dude, we do what we do and bring Long Beach the best food. Mostly made here, but we always get by with a little help from our friends, and we don't want it any other way.
It doesn't sound like it's mostly made there, from the things that you said.
No, it sounds like most of it is not made there.
What if I told you that the point of a restaurant is to make your own food, and then sell it to people?
Yeah, kinda.
She also, I read about this a while ago, and the article I saw, it had like a response from her, and she said like, well, I want to serve fried chicken, but we don't have a deep fryer, so I just buy it from Popeyes.
Then why are you trying to sell fried chicken if you don't have a deep fryer? I don't understand.
Here's the problem here. Let me be
Fucking
clear.
amazing.
There's plenty of restaurants that buy food from somewhere else and then serve it. That is totally a thing. Like, there's, plenty of places serve frozen food, whatever, right? You have to get your shit from somewhere. And
yeah, I mean, I worked in a Panera for like a year and a half.
Yeah, it happens.
I know how it is.
But one, you don't admit to it ever. And two, perhaps more importantly, in the case of something like this, the problem isn't that they're serving people Popeye's chicken. If you want to do that, then I don't know, I guess do that. That's on you. The problem is they're buying chicken from Popeyes and then not telling Popeyes that they're selling it, I'm assuming, at their restaurant. And then they're charging more for the chicken at their restaurant than Popeyes charges you.
They're charging over double.
Oh, no. No, wait. She actually, the article I read before, that I can't find now, she has a response to that, and, what the hell did she say? She said, something like... She said, she uses the chicken from Popeyes as an ingredient and not the meal itself, so that's why it's okay.
But the meal itself is just... she puts that on a plate with waffles, and then she puts syrup on it.
No, but she says, like, it's just an ingredient. Like, we put other things with the chicken.
Okay, so in that case, you're just charging... You're way overcharging for waffles. Either way.
Pretty much. Oh, and on this article I'm looking at, she has another response. If they ask, I tell customers where the chicken comes from. The fact is, Popeyes is the best you can buy.
No.
Would they rather I use some other brand?
Yes.
Like Cisco?
No.
Which I can buy for 40 cents a strip?
No.
At Popeyes, I pay $1.60 a strip, and we use 3.
So what you're telling me is that you have made a series of bad business decisions where you're paying extra money for fried
That's
chicken.
what I'm getting.
It's not the best you can buy. Like, I know that. Like, I've... Like... Alright. I need to escape from this. Hey, Miko, what you been gaming?
What have I been gaming? That's a great question. So, you remember how I was playing Golf Story?
I sure do.
No.
And remember how last time,
You should listen to the podcast more, idiot.
Maybe you should update it more, idiot.
True.
Yeah. So last time I talked about Golf Story is I kind of decided that I kind of hate the golf mechanics because of the top-down view and how the sloping works.
Because it feel bad.
Yeah, it's not as good as it could be, right?
So what was your solution?
So then I got the itch, right? And I was like, well, I love the aesthetics of Golf Story, but I really need, like, the good golf mechanics of a real golf game. I went on the PSN store, right? And I bought Everybody's Golf.
Uh-huh.
That game's a lot of fucking fun.
Hey, if you don't know what that is, it's Hot Shots.
Yes, they've rebranded. I guess it's a rebranding. I think it's called Everybody's Golf in Japan, maybe.
It is.
Now this is just kind of unifying it. So the golf mechanics in that game are very good. And
hey, Hot Shots Golf is good.
Yeah. When I start putting, I can see what I'm doing.
I don't really know much about Hot Shots Golf except for the differences in the cover art for the regions.
Alright, so let me explain Hot Shots Golf to you. Have you ever played Mario Golf?
Yeah.
Yeah, they took everything from Hot Shots Golf.
Yes,
Oh.
pretty much.
Is Mario Golf like Mario Strikers?
No, that's a soccer game.
No, yeah, it's the same. It's the same. It's the same thing.
I actually meant to say the baseball one, but I don't remember
Sluggers.
what that one's called. Is it really?
I think so, right?
I hate that game.
Okay.
Because my brother would play it with me, and he was a cunt about it. You ever have someone like that who gets really too into games that are
Yeah,
dumb?
that's me.
Yeah, you ever play a fighting game with me?
Oh yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure I have before.
Yeah. Get smoked.
What did I try to grab you, and that's it? Because I don't play fighting games.
Yeah.
So yeah, Everybody's Golf. So there are a couple
Yeah.
things about this game that I've noticed, which is the golf mechanics are very good. 2, I'm very bad at them. So, that's something I gotta deal with. 3 is it takes forever to unlock the second course.
Yeah.
Pourquoi?
Yeah. So the way you unlock the second course is so you do the tournament mode, and you do the tournament mode, and if you place in the top 3, you get experience. When you fill up your experience bar once, you face one challenger in a 1-on-1 match.
So you beat him to death with a golf club?
No, but then after you beat the challenger, you have to go back to tournament mode, do it again, face a second challenger, and then you have to go back to
Holy
tournament mode and do it
shit.
again and face a third challenger, and when you beat the third challenger, it unlocks the second course.
Face
Bro,
a
man.
new challenger.
How much time do you spend playing on the first course?
A lot. I'm not done. Let me put it that way.
Alright.
I've beaten the second challenger.
Is
I'm
it at
working
least
on
fun?
getting to the third. It's fun, but I really wish I could have another course to play on at this point.
Yeah, what if I told you, more, you always want to be moving from course to course in golf games, because otherwise it's
Yeah,
boring.
so what they do for the tournament mode at least is they will set modifiers on the course.
Right, so I saw, some weird shit, like a hurricane over the fucking...
Yeah, so there's small holes, giant holes, and then tornado holes that'll suck your ball in if they get close enough, which I like that one because it makes it real easy to do the putting.
Yeah, because you love getting your ball sucked.
Yeah, you know it.
Is there an option to golf during a thunderstorm?
Probably. I haven't really tried to mess with it in the free mode all that much, but probably.
Randomly get struck by lightning and instantly lose?
I don't know.
Hey, is one of the hazards that can pop up on the golf course a copy of Wario's Woods?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. It's good to know.
What happens if you put your balls onto it?
Yeah, what happens if you put your ball onto Wario's Woods?
Then you make all your friends very upset.
Oh,
as
weird.
it turns out. Yeah, weird.
Especially when you text pictures of your ball on Wario's Woods to your friends, and then everyone gets sad.
Yeah.
Can you get a hole-in-one by doing that?
I mean,
Couldn't
you
tell
could
ya.
definitely put it in a hole. I don't know where I'm going with that one.
Alright.
Don't put your balls in a hole, please. Please.
Thoughts? So you like it in general, even though it's kind of slow?
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep playing it until Odyssey comes out probably, and then I'm gonna switch gears and go full Mario.
Yeah, go full Mario. For what?
Full Mario.
For people who don't know anything about this game, there is a lot of customization in the character creator, way more than you would expect.
Yeah, go watch the Monster Factory about this game if you need like a taste.
Oh, it's that game.
Yeah, it's that game. So
Yeah.
without even thinking about it, accidentally got my mouth to like bisect my character's nose, and I was like, oh god, it really is that easy. Griffin and Justin were right.
So you just what'd you make? Just yourself, sort of?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah, all I know about everybody's golf and hot shots was this comparison of the box art of the PS3 game from Japan, Europe to the US, where it looks like Adam Jensen is slowly taking over a golf course.
Adam Jensen is slowly taking over a golf course.
Why is Adam Jensen in that game?
Why not?
That's a great question.
Because he didn't ask to play golf, but he is.
I didn't ask to do all 18 holes.
Yo, so I didn't play Mankind Divided. Is there like a golf minigame in there?
No.
Golly,
Oh, why not?
missed opportunity.
It's called Expanding the Brand.
They should have had a minigame where you play mini golf and use your augment powers.
To stab people in the fucking face and win.
Yeah, you should,
Yeah.
You should fire golf balls out of his arms.
Pick up a vending machine and throw it at someone when they get a better score than you.
Is that all you played this week?
Yeah, because the whole
Yeah, I
family
mean, that's kinda what I figured,
emergency
but I-
situation.
I wanted to know.
Also, I just realized that I already had 100-foot robot golf on my PS4, and I could have just played that again and gotten some McElroy content in there.
It's not. I don't think that's the greatest golf game ever, though. Anyway, so
It's pretty fun, but you're right. It's not
really a
what I
golf
was
game.
looking
It's
for
not
out
really
of
a golf
like
game.
quality. Yeah, it's more of a giant robot game when you think about it.
Yeah.
Also, I like a lot of the people that were involved. They're good people that I may or may not know and have had drinks with.
oh,
Yeah,
Full
you were there. We had
disclosure.
drinks with Kuvo.
But golf isn't fun at all, ever. It's a bad game, and no
So
one should
in real
play.
life, I agree with you unless it's
Yeah.
mini golf. Mini golf can be pretty fun.
yeah. But have you ever seen
'cause
the Kuvo maneuver in real life?
I have seen the Kuvo maneuver in real life.
No, actually, I like mini golf sober too. Mini golf is just fun.
No, you gotta be drunk and run around naked on the golf course or something.
Well, I mean, let's not do anything to get us kicked out. I want to finish my mini golf round. You
Is
know
there
what I
a
mean?
course?
Yeah, there's one close enough to us. Don't worry, we're gonna figure it out.
Oh.
I don't like the way you said that.
Who else has been playing video games?
I played some games, I guess.
You're not
I
on
played
here.
two
so I
video
just got
games.
confused. What'd you play?
Because I
Yeah.
didn't play any games before yesterday.
Oh, okay,
That would be why.
that's fair.
I mean, I guess I kind of played games, but it's more like I watched my brother play Metal Gear Solid 5
That's
a
not
bunch.
a game.
And we already talked about it.
And I played it a little more, and I didn't talk about it last time, but hey, watching those cutscenes again, they're bad.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, they're not good. They're awkward. Like, they don't look bad or anything, they're just really awkward.
I think I can universally say that Kiefer Sutherland was a mistake.
I don't actually hate his voice, it's just, I want him to
I
speak.
don't think he acts very good in it, and I think it's because he's not used to voicing a character who is not just him talking to in front of a camera.
I didn't really get enough to judge that, because he barely fucking says anything.
Yeah, he
in the
says like
game.
5 words, but the things he does say are not well acted, in my opinion.
I didn't mind Kiefer Sutherland, honestly, but I
Yeah.
would have preferred David Hayter.
Like, the best part of that entire game is, what's his name, Kaz? No, the guy.
Ocelot?
No.
Kaz?
There's Kaz and Ocelot and the Otacons' dad.
No, we don't talk about Otacon's dad.
Yeah,
Fuck
no,
that
we
guy.
don't talk about him. The guy who is your, like, best friend, and he's... Bitch!
Yes.
Yeah, he's the best part.
Yeah, that's Kaz.
Yeah. He's the
Yeah, that's
by far the best.
Kazuhura Miller.
Kazuma
thank you.
Miller.
Yeah, that guy. The guy that's in Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah, Kazuhiro Miller.
Well, technically he's not, but that's a spoiler for Metal Gear Solid 1. So,
Yeah, how fucking long ago did that game come out? Come on.
1997?
I have news. If your game came out for MSX, I'm gonna spoil it for you.
Did Metal Gear Solid 1 come out on the MSX?
It did.
And the other game was a game I play every once in a while. It's called Desktop Dungeons. It's a
Oh
roguelike.
yeah.
It's a fun little game to play for a little bit. I always just keep it installed because I'll always come back to it, even if I don't play it for like a year or two.
My friend's dad got obsessive about that game at one point.
It is fun because it's just very like short, and you don't have to devote a lot of time to it.
Yeah, it's a classy little roguelike.
It's just like if you're like me and you do it while you're watching something and you stop paying attention, you will easily die because you're not paying attention and you'll click on a thing. And that was my great video gaming time. I got more frustrated at Konami for making Metal Gear Solid 5 worse, and then played an actual fun game. So there you go.
It's pretty good. Hey Andrew, what did you play?
Oh, I played that game I talked about last time I was here.
Yeah, remind us.
It's the Lose Yourself by N&M.
Yes, where I got very, very mad because you were reciting the lyrics to Lose Yourself. That's right.
That's a song.
That is a song, and I think, Mike, you were out, which is probably why you don't know.
I edited that, so I definitely experienced this second hand.
Okay, so the game is called One Shot, and it's a game made using RPG Maker.
Oh, okay. Do you lose yourself in the music the moment you own it?
We already made this joke!
Never let it go.
Fuck!
It's about an adorable cat child named Miko who wakes up in a strange place, finds a light bulb, and winds up traversing a weird world.
How many miles does he traverse? 8?
Yeah, sure. Throughout the game, you learn that Miko is like the prophesized messiah of the world. They literally refer to him as the messiah.
Would you say that he's a rap god?
I don't know, he kind of sounds a bit like a pussy, if you ask me. You get it? Because he's a cat?
Anyway, the light bulb you found is that world's sun. And your job is to bring the sun to the top of a tower and plug it in up there, and they'll
I
light
thought
up the
when
world.
you said sun, you meant like child for a second.
No, like
my light
ball
bulb
of
child
light.
come to me.
So is this a traditional RPG, or...?
No, there's no combat. The gameplay is basically just solving some puzzles and some,
It's kind of like the horror games that people make in those engines.
So, did you know that bringing the light back to the top of a big tower to light up the world is the plot of the story mode of Splatoon 1? I just want you to know that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And that's why I've seen fan art of the Nico kid as a inkling, holding the Zapfish. Anyway,
there you go.
Anyway, very shortly into the game, you learn that the god of the world is you, the player.
Whoa.
Anyway, what the game does is it grabs like the first word from your Windows user account and uses that. And in my case, that wasn't my actual name, so I changed it.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the game, Nico will... Well, they don't actually specify if it's a he or she, but Nico communicates directly with you.
Okay.
And I was nice to him because being an asshole to a video game cat doesn't seem like a good time to me.
Well, also, just like, it's a cat. Don't be a dick to cats. Yeah.
Why would you be mean to the cat, which in my case would be named Grimlock?
But I guess you're telling me this is a black and white situation where you can be a dick to the cat if you want.
Oh, I don't know, because I didn't.
But you theoretically could.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did embarrass him by asking him to talk like a robot when a robot was nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And the robot was offended. The robot was like, actually, robots don't eat batteries. Because Nico said, I am a robot, robots eat batteries.
Yeah, but robots don't have feelings or emotions or anything. They're just cold,
you
heartless
need to play a
killing
Nier
machines.
Automata.
Anyway, the title of the game refers to the fact that once you beat the game, you can't play it again unless you find and delete the quote-unquote save file.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and I was talking about it earlier that a game changed my desktop background while I was playing it.
And it was this. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And in the original RPG Maker game, if you ever close out of the game by like hitting Alt F4 or Xing out, and then reload it, the title screen will have Nico won't be there anymore, and when you load in, you'll get an error message saying you killed Nico.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. In the Steam version, they don't do that anymore, though.
Oh, that's nice of them.
I quite enjoyed it.
In the Steam version, can you launch it again after you beat it?
Yeah, it's... You can launch it, but nothing happens until you delete that file.
So what did it change your desktop background to?
The solution to, like, a lights out type puzzle, or... No, it's more like... It's one of those puzzles where you walk on tiles and they change color.
Ah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds very interesting.
There's also, the game also communicates directly to you with error messages on occasion. So that's neat. And there's another time where I had to launch a completely different executable before it would let me continue playing. So yeah, it likes doing stuff like that.
Little meta.
Yeah, real meta stuff.
Little Sonic Dreams collection in there. Just give you a taste.
Sonic memes collection.
Yes.
I played video games too.
Tell me about them.
I played 2 of them.
Okay.
One of them I played before. It's called Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Oh.
I didn't
I have to
really
leave.
play it because I just sort of dicked around with the new DLC characters. They released 3 of them all at the same time. There's the Monster Hunter, which is Zomtos's favorite character because it's just the name of the game.
Yeah, I love that. I love my favorite character, Monster Hunter.
That's her name. And the Black Panther, maybe you've heard of him. He's a black guy. He dresses like a panther, like a Black Panther, and he kicks you and stuff.
Yeah?
And then Sigma from Mega Man X, who's like
I don't like that guy. He's
a big
mean
robot. Yeah, exactly.
He has robot AIDS.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
That's his backstory. Is he contracted robot AIDS from Zero?
Well, here's what I know. You fight him in Mega Man X8. You fight a boss called Fake Sigma.
Yeah.
I didn't play that game, but I saw this fight against him, and boy, they sure did steal a bunch of his moves directly from that fight and put it in this game.
So all of Fake Sigma's moves were taken from the real Sigma, I guess.
They were taken, and given to the real Sigma. And he's got a lightsaber. I don't know. I played mostly Monster Hunter and Sigma. I checked out Black Panther too. They seem pretty cool. Yeah, I don't have much to say about that other than they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sigma feels like you're playing underwater, which kind of sucks because he's so slow. What were you saying, Zimtosis?
I said, did they add Wobbuffet yet?
No, they did add costumes for people though.
Yeah.
Are they cool costumes?
Some of them are. Like,
Can I dress up like a Charizard?
No.
Hey, did they add a costume for Dante that makes him look like he did in Devil May Cry 4 finally?
No, but they did add a costume for Dante that makes him look like DMC Dante.
Yeah, the one nobody likes. Yeah, let's do that.
True.
Fuck it.
It's actually a real monkey's paw situation because it's the Dante that no one likes, but he looks so much better than the regular Dante skin that you want to use it anyway. Because the regular Dante skin makes him look like a meth addict.
Wait, is it DMC Dante before or after he gets the white hair?
So, to answer your question, Dante has a super in Marvel where he goes Devil Trigger, and they made it so that it is the correct Devil Trigger and he gets the white hair when you do it.
I guess that's cool. I guess.
Believe it or not, the skin is actually good. It's so much better than the regular Dante skin that pretty much everyone who plays Dante has bought that skin and uses it now.
I just don't like DMC Dante's design at all. Even the weapons and everything just fucking don't look good.
That's the catch-22, is that even though it's really awesome that they finally made a skin that doesn't look like complete garbage for Dante, it's also a skin of the worst Dante. So, yeah, it's tough. Yeah, there's like a Hulk skin that's Grey Hulk, who Mr. Fix-It, I think is his name, which is like Grey Hulk in a suit.
Is there a skin for Chris that just makes him look like normal Chris?
There's a skin for Chris that makes him look like Resident Evil concept art Chris, which basically just means he's dressed like Barry from Resident Evil, and it looks like shit. It looks like garbage.
Alright, well.
Uh-huh. They should have just put in PlayStation 1 model.
Yeah, there's a bunch of really... That actually would have been good. There's a bunch of really, really bad skins. And there's some good ones, like the Miss Marvel one they put in is her Warbird, a.k.a. old actual Miss Marvel skin, which is the one where she's in the black outfit with the Thunderbolt on it, and the mask and stuff. So I don't know, some of them are good, some of them are bad. All in all, the DLC characters are pretty cool. The other game I played is a different game, and it's for the Nintendo 3DS. Maybe you've heard of it. This is the console.
Can you explain it? I've never...
It's like a Switch, but for poor people.
Oh, is this the Nintendo Switch that folds up?
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait, but what if I'm too poor to afford a 3DS? Where's my poor version?
That's the GBA.
Game Boy Advance, yeah.
But what if I can't afford a Game Boy
You
Advance?
can, I promise.
No,
you can go on eBay and get one for 69 cents.
I'll sell you my GBA for
$10
at AGDQ if you want it.
You see, $10 is too much.
Well, then that's...
I'm in the price range of 0 to free.
Oh,
personally,
then you're
that's
thinking
my
of
price range.
A piece of graph paper and a pencil
I've got a Game Boy Pocket.
that you'll just give.
Yeah, it's like the gray one. It's like before they even.
Yeah,
came
I'll
out
give
with
you my
colors
Game
for
Boy
the
Color
Pocket.
that I don't use anymore.
Actually, I still do have my GameCube with that old attachment that lets you play Game Boy.
All right.
All right, so you got a Game Boy Advance. So let's
Anyway.
move on. What's the video game?
Etrian Odyssey 5. Hey,
Tell me about that, because I actually don't know what that is
hey,
at all.
do you know what wizardry is?
No.
Yeah.
What type
okay.
of wizardry?
The game series.
In that case.
No.
Hey, do you know what? What was that one that came out pretty recently? That was the first-person dungeon crawler.
Demon Souls.
Grimcock.
Legends of Grimcock, yes.
Yeah, Legends of Grimlock.
Is that it? Is that what it is? It is that? Okay.
Is it
Grimlock
that? I have
though,
the
or
game.
is it Grimcock?
No.
It might be
Hold on.
Grimcock.
It's not Grimcock. It's definitely
Please
not.
don't do this to me.
Grimrock.
Grimrock. There you go.
Legend of Grimrock. All right. Do you know what that is?
Yes, because I own it, you fuck.
Hey, it's that kind of, but with
okay.
but with anime. So
All right, that sounds bad. I don't like this anymore.
So picture an old style first person dungeon crawler, which means if you don't know what that is, it's your typical RPG turn based battle combat stuff. But the way that the environments that you traverse are dungeons that are, square by square, and you traverse one square at a time, and you're in first person as you go around. And you can't ever see your party fighting. You just see the effects of the shit they do, and you see the monsters when you fight them. So it's an old style like that. In a lot of those old wizardry games, there was no way for you to. It didn't draw the map out of the dungeon for you, right? So if you wanted to know where stuff was, you had to get a piece of graph paper and write it down, right? And be like, hey, you go this many squares, and that's where the dick is, and then you put the dick in the dick hole, and
You put the dick into the dick-shaped hole.
gives me the
The dick stone.
yeah, and then I can open the dick altar with the dick stone. They took something from that and have it in this game where the series where it's on the bottom of your screen at all times, since obviously you have two screens with the 3DS, and I think it started on the DS is where the series started. So you always had two screens. The bottom screen is your map, and you have to draw it in. Well, at least you used to. In this game, and I believe in Etrian Odyssey 4 also, it would do some auto mapping for you, which basically means wherever you walk, it would map out. So it'll draw the floor and the walls of if you're next to a wall and where you're walking the floor. But everything else you need to put on there. In this game, I think there's actually an option for full auto mapping. But I did not turn that on because I like doing it. So if you find, say, a door that leads to another room, or you find like a gathering point. So there's stuff like you can mine or gather like materials and shit or whatever from certain points, squares in the dungeon. If you want to remember where that is in order to go back to it ever, you need to mark it on your map with an icon. Otherwise, you just won't know, and you just deal with it. You just have to remember. So there's that. Otherwise, it's like a pretty straightforward RPG. You have a party of 5 people, and at any given time, you can... the reason it's 5 and not 6 is because sometimes they give you a party of 5 people at any given time. The reason it's 5 and not 6 is because sometimes they toss a guest character in for certain quests, so they need to reserve a space in your party for that to happen. And you can actually make up to 30 characters to join your quote-unquote guild. And you can, you can customize them however you like. They let you, you can do a male or female portrait and male or female voice for any character. So you can have a male portrait with a female voice and female portrait with a male voice, whatever you want. And, there's a bunch of different classes, and it's an RPG. I don't know if you ever played one of those.
Yeah?
No. Can you please explain the core design philosophies of an RPG?
So, here's what I'll say about this game. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I played a bunch of it. It's really fun. It's hard. These games are generally pretty hard. I haven't played that much of the Etrian Odyssey series, but I'll tell you what I have played. The ones that I played the most are 4, and then 1, and then this game. And then 3, I guess, and then this game.
Is there permadeath in it?
Nope.
Alright, that sounds a little more forgiving then.
There's no permadeath. Although the early game is really rough because you're short on money, and in order to heal your people, you need to stay in an inn. Once you get back to, like, there's like a town. So you have like the dungeon, and then you have town. And so the games are sort of structured differently here and there. Etrian Odyssey 4 started, which is the game I probably played the most, is the game where they had like this whole concept of a world map and multiple dungeons and all this other shit, which I kind of thought they would carry over to this game, and they didn't. They actually went back to like a much more traditional style of there's one dungeon and you just keep progressing through it. The dungeon in this game is Yggdrasil. It's like a big tree. And obviously there's a bunch of different biomes and shit. Like, it's, you're not just going through the same area over and over again. But, it's like really, the beginning of the game is tough. Etrian Odyssey 1 is like impossibly hard. If I was telling anyone a place to start in this series, I would say start with 4, because that's by far the easiest one. 1 is so hard that I played, I want to say, like 8 hours of it, and then I gave up playing it forever because it was too hard.
Uh-huh.
And I was a lot younger when I originally played that. That was back in the DS days. But I did eventually go back to it, and if you know what you're doing with your party makeup, it's pretty easy to sort of break the game. But if you don't, you can just get fucked nonstop. 4 and 5 are much more like lenient with how you make up your party. And you can kind of go with what you want and still, for the most part, be okay. But 5's early game is definitely a lot harder than 4's. The first, I would say, like 6, maybe more like 5 hours of play are like the first stratum, basically, so there's a bunch of floors in the dungeon, and once you get through a certain number of floors, you move on to another stratum. So like another sort of chapter of the dungeon, which is usually when the environment changes. And the first stratum is rough, dude. It's like really hard, especially when you're starting out. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna play a lot more of it. I really like those games.
All right.
If you want to check it out, maybe start with 4 or this one. I wouldn't recommend starting with any of the other ones because they're all really hard, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've heard Toddy play some of them, by which I mean he logs into voice chat and just swears for like 2 hours.
I mean, Toddy does that no matter what he's playing. Let's be real.
Toddy does that when he's driving.
He sure does, and actually I love that part.
Yeah, that's just funny.
I get to hear the cars honking. That's the best part.
You get to hear the road rage in live action.
Mm-hmm. But I also get road rage, so like I feel him. I understand where he's coming from. By the way, if you drive on Route 80 through New Jersey, the speed limit is not 55. Thanks.
I mean, you can keep telling people that, but they won't believe you.
It's like 65, but de facto 80.
It's 65, and you should be going 70 minimum.
You should be going 70 minimum, yes. And I'm gonna be late for school if you don't go faster. Anyhow,
what are we calling this segment today?
Is it the one that's highlighted?
I don't know. No, it's highlighted because Symptosis wrote it.
Hi, welcome to Surfing the Tubes.
Hell yeah!
I came up with that. It was my idea. Don't let Mike steal it from me.
And now I'm gonna cross it out because it's gone now.
No, don't. No, it's too good. We're gonna.
No, we can't reuse it. It's the joke.
The whole joke is that we can never reuse it.
Commit to the bit.
You can't tell people what the joke is.
We're editing this out. It's fine. Anyway.
We literally already told them what the joke was last time.
Oh, no.
I think we did. You're right. Yeah, so,
what tubes did you
go
surf?
first?
Yeah, surf my tubes, my dudes.
Alright, so you guys may be familiar with the ever-popular Garfield comic.
I love Pipe Strip.
I think it's... No, not Pipe Strip. It's better than Where's My Pipe.
Garfield's the comic with the guy that works in the office, and he's got the glasses, right?
Right, and his boss has got the weird Einstein hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he complains about work.
Yeah. So, in this comic that is hot point of debate right now this week, John Arbuckle in Garfield...
John Arbuckle from Pipe Strip.
Drinks a piping hot mug of dog semen.
Yeah.
And there's really no other way to interpret that, I think.
I mean, so, like, well, just to... Because it only takes a hot second to explain. The comic is...
John's at the vet with Garfield.
John's at the vet with Garfield's a nurse there. And he says, "Have a cup of coffee, John." "Why, thanks. Don't mind if I do." And he picks up a mug that's on the table, and he drinks it. And the nurse says, "Congratulations, Mr. Arbuckle. You are going to give birth to a fine, healthy litter of puppies."
Okay, I have two questions about this strip as it stands, before we even get into the things. One, why are you storing dog cum in a coffee mug on a table?
Desk, yeah.
Yeah. Two, that's not how pregnancy works? Yeah, I don't think you can do that from the mouth. I don't think that's how that happens.
I think you're right, but I do think that she's being sarcastic, judging by her picture.
Yeah. But, like, she's obviously a woman of science. Well, she should know this.
3, why would you have a cup of dog semen in the first place?
Sometimes people gotta take their work home with them.
But they're at the vet's office, so they didn't really do that.
Don't.
Yeah, take your pets home with you.
Anyway, let me lay out the timeline of events here. Is somebody named Nutsling on Twitter ordered a giant print of this comic, and it says, "These events are canon" at the bottom.
Written by Mr. Jim Davis.
Yeah, so I don't think Jim Davis wrote that. I think that was written in with a silver Sharpie later.
Probably.
I just want to say that on one of the pictures they put of the package getting there, they also show like a little thing of their phone that says, "Parcel track delivered. The dog cum strip."
Yep.
Which maybe not the best thing to name a product you're getting delivered, but you do you, I guess.
I have a feeling he probably gave it a nickname.
Yeah, I think that's something you can set in Parcel Track.
Hey, this guy bought it with his money.
Yeah, he did. So then, the next event that happens is a few days later, potentially unrelated to this, I'm not really sure.
Pretty sure it was.
Well, so Jim Davis came out and said that he's not drinking dog cum. He is, in fact, drinking, like, dog fertility medicine, which I'm like, I don't really understand.
No. Let's be clear.
Even less.
Whoa. You're skipping stuff. So
yeah, Jim Davis said that he grew up on a farm or something.
The AV Club basically saw this, and then went and decided to ask him, "Hey, is John drinking dog cum?" And his response was, "No, he's not. Actually, this is what happened. Actually, on the farm, we used to give First Calf Heifers, a high-protein supplement to help them deliver healthier calves. He's talking about cows, by the way. The supplement was provided by our vet. I assumed that there would be a similar supplement for dogs. So John is drinking a protein-enriched drink formulated for a pregnant dog. So that's his argument for what this is supposed to be. However...
Yeah, I'll say it's protein-enriched.
What semen is made of?
Protein.
Can I just say real quick that the title of this article is Garfield creator Jim Davis finds dog semen, in quotes, theory hard to swallow.
That's also a very good title.
I just can't skip over that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's definitely an Onion article.
It's real good. Yeah.
I also want to point out, that Garfield's veterinarian, the lady there, is named Liz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which sounds like jizz.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So it's actually a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Well, it's not, because we know.
It's a cum conspiracy.
I just scrolled down a little, and there's a navigation, one of those sponsored content things, except it says more fine highbrow reading on Garfield.
Yeah.
And there are 3 other articles I can click on, and I don't want to click on any of them.
Here's the thing, right? This is Jim Davis's argument, but but if that was the case, then wouldn't the nurse not say? She wouldn't say, "Oh, congratulations on being pregnant."
Yeah, she wouldn't say, "Hey, John, you're MPreg now," like she did.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Instead, she would say, "Oh, are you pregnant? Because you're drinking this stuff. Like, why are you pregnant? Oh, I guess you must be pregnant because you're drinking." No, she says congratulations because he just impregnated himself by drinking dog cum. So, obviously a lie on Jim Davis's part. Can't fool me.
I would also just like to...
I've seen Pipe Strip.
Ask if it is actually cum, which it is.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is.
Why is John that dumb?
Because that's the joke in the comic, is that he is that
So,
dumb.
wait, no, so... You might think that it's because he's dumb, but the third part of the saga is that Pixelated Boat, at Pixelated Boat on Twitter, found a very secretive first draft of this comic. This is the actual first draft drawn by Jim Davis himself, and this is what he was going to publish, but obviously his editor, killed the hell out of this, even though, this is the true vision of Jim Davis. And in this, I'll read it. It's, similar, but there's a few differences from the finished strip. So in the first panel, you have John, and he says, "Ah, a mug of dog cum, my favorite drink." And then in the second panel, he drinks it, and Liz, the vet, says, "John, you cum maniac, stop." And then in the third panel, she says, "I'm dumping you because you drank dog cum." And Garfield thinks, "Oh shit." So actually, John's not dumb. He knew what he was drinking. And it's his favorite.
It sure is. So that's what I had.
Well, everyone, email us to tell us what your favorite cum to drink is. All right.
No, we have to take the last email topic has to stay in place. We'll talk about that at the end. So.
Oh no, I wasn't saying that's a topic. I was just saying email Miko to tell. Email.
No.
All right, so
That's very rude.
I got a couple. I'll go through them real quick because they're all pretty short. Number 1. Let's begin with the second one. It's a picture. There's a tweet that says, "Left pick is Woody and Buzz from Toy Story back then. Right pick is them now. Feel old yet?" And the first picture is Woody and Buzz from Toy Story. And the second picture is Ghost Rider and Sigma from Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, with Ghost Rider in his cowboy outfit.
Nice.
Because one of the Ghost Riders was the cowboy.
And it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was very funny.
But why does that guy have an outfit that looks so much like fucking Buzz Lightyear?
That's just what Sigma looks like, dude. Google Sigma. That's just what he looks like. They fucking jacked that shit. Although I think... Was Sigma before Toy Story?
Possibly, actually.
I think he was. Anyway. Then you've got a thread that I found, which was somebody posted 1 like equals 1 random frame from the 1995 classic Hackers. as of right now, there's something like 80 or 100 different hackers frames, and man, I just forgot this movie existed, and there's some good still frames in the movie's Hackers, guys, from 1995. You should look at it.
I feel like including the credits is cheating, but yeah.
Well, that's the thing is it's random, right? So they wanted it to be, it's truly random. So the credits take up some amount of time. And you know what I forgot completely about this movie, and then remembered upon seeing this, is that I remembered that the guy from what's it called? Trainspotting was in this. I remembered that.
Yeah.
But what I didn't remember is that Angelina Jolie is in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, word? Really?
Yep. And I was reminded of that fact,
Shit.
and yeah, that hit me in a real dark spot when I was reminded of that. Yeah, so that's just, just a little one. And lastly, I was dicking around. I tend to dick around sometimes on the R Kappa subreddit, which is a fighting game subreddit that is honestly really terrible these days. I can't recommend that you go there, because there's a lot of just that classic Reddit garbage on there. But I did find something interesting the other day, which was somebody posted, and then I realized and noticed that, have you heard of Custom Robo for the GameCube?
Yeah.
So I don't think I talked about this on the podcast last week, but I was definitely talking to another friend about it who played Custom Robo on the GameCube with me a long time ago. So
I played that game.
Yeah, so Custom Robo is a
one
game
point.
on the GameCube that came out in America that you can play. But what you might not have known is that this was a series in Japan for a while before it came out on the GameCube in America, and so there's an N64 Custom Robo also. But there was never an English release of that game. It was always only Japanese. And they recently came out with a English translation for Custom Robo, the N64. So if you have a way to find a way to play Custom Robo on your PC, then you could theoretically get this patch and apply it to some sort of ROM type file for the Japanese.
Make sure you
Custom
delete it
Robo.
within 24 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours. And then, you could play you some English Custom Robo 64, which I actually kind of want to, because I like Custom Robo on the GameCube, and I heard from some people who have played, this one is even better.
Oh, really?
I mean, obviously that's preference, but some people seem to like this one better, so...
Huh. Maybe I'll check it out.
Now, that's the series where the robots are, like, really tiny, right?
Yeah, and you're, and it's, you custom them.
Neat.
I think we're cool with providing this link, since they don't link anything about the actual ROM
No,
stuff here,
they link the, it's like anytime you do like a ROM hack, they provide you the patch, but they can never provide you the ROM. It's the exact same situation.
Right, so, I think we'll throw that link in there for people if they're interested, because it looks cool. It was done by Star Trinket Translations, or the guys who worked on it.
Neat.
And that was what I found on the internet. What did you find on the internet?
Yeah, what'd you find on the internet?
No, you. I did mine.
Oh. Earlier this week, the artist known as Mary Cagle, or Kaggle?
Kegel is a
Anyway,
thing that you do with your vagina.
Yeah, it's Kaggle. Oh, bitch.
You've made my cat very upset. I just want you to know.
Anyway, Mary Kaggle
I should probably let her out of my room.
She's doing a Let's Play of Final Fantasy IX, and she took a screenshot of the female lead's butt, which she's wearing an orange jumpsuit.
What's her name again? Dagger is her fake name, and what's her real name?
Garnet's her real name.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, took a screenshot of her butt and then drew Garfield's face with the butt cheeks as his eyelids. And then she did this again with Tracer from Overwatch. And I'm not sure how to feel about this.
Garfield's face does look like a butt, if you really think about it. That's basically my takeaway from this.
Mary... Mary Cagle, the artist of the wonderful Let's Speak English series and Kiwi Blitz and Sleepless Domain.
Yeah, as someone who has read Let's Speak English, can't recommend it enough. It's really good. It's very funny. It's her adventures as a English teacher in Japan.
Yes.
You know, I did always think that Garfield was a bit of an ass.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. All right, I'm done. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you, I
We
appreciate
got kind
it.
of heavy on the Garf content this week, huh?
You know what happens.
Don't fucking say Garf content like that's an actual way to shorten that.
Garf tent.
That's the way I shorten it, so fuck you. I do what I want.
Garf tent.
Man, there's a lot of this Garf news this week, huh?
Boy, I sure hate Mondays.
Like this tweet from the official Garfield Twitter saying, hang in there, Puerto Rico. And
Oh, God.
has Garfield hung up in a sweater for some reason.
Hey, do you have any online content from Tosis?
Me?
Yeah.
Me? You mean Maggie, you prick.
I mean, I say
Fucking-
both of them interchangeably.
Don't.
Yeah.
Preferably Garfield related.
Funnily enough, no.
No.
I don't have anything. But I can go on to the great Twitter moments and just read a few
Well,
things,
don't.
I guess.
No,
Why not?
let's not do that. That seems like a bad choice.
No, that's,
You can just not have any. No, because then we'd be
No,
under
that's
2
all right.
hours, and that's really good. So let's just
Alright,
do that.
so... Alright, there's only one that I'm gonna bother reading at all, and it's Ha Ha, which, by the way, is the dumbest fucking category name. I don't know if you know that. And it just says, women, here are some male secrets, and it shows a frame from, I guess, The Simpsons, and I don't know...
that's Lionel Hutz, voiced by
Uh-huh.
the late Phil Hartman.
Oh, and it's Julian Assange saying thing. Alright, I don't care anymore. Alright,
Yep.
bye,
So
everybody. Thanks
yeah,
for
that's
stopping
definitely
by.
that's definitely the worst thing on the internet.
Guys,
Fuck.
I just learned something, is that they're making Sonic Funko Pops, and the Shadow the Hedgehog one, well, for
Yep.
one, looks terrifying, and 2 is exclusive to Hot Topic.
This is all getting cut out.
No.
All of this.
No.
This whole part that's happening right now.
No. Link that. That
Yeah,
could be
sure,
my
I'll
thing.
definitely do that.
Right there.
Yep. All right. So, hey, thanks for joining
Hey,
us.
let's end the podcast.
Yeah.
So, you may have noticed that we didn't do an email segment this week because last week's episode is not up. There's a computer problem that caused a delay, and we're sorry, but that's the way the cards fell this time.
It's not really a computer problem, is it?
No, it's more like a power
It's
grid
a
problem.
power grid problem, yeah.
Yeah. Infrastructure problems.
Just want to do a quick reminder that, actually... Okay, so I need to say something else after I give you the topic, which is, what is a video game that has aged so poorly you cannot play it anymore?
Ah.
So we're going to talk about that next time. I'm not going to be here next week, so Mike, I'm going to need to somehow get you access to my inbox.
Okay.
Because I have a wedding to go to, and I'm actually not going to be here the week
You
after
can't
that.
just forward me the
and
emails?
neither... I could do that, I guess.
Yeah.
That's probably the easiest way.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not going to be here the week after that because me and Subtosis are going to GamerX East, and that should be
So
fun.
we'll see who we can get on as guests for the weeks that.
No, we're still gonna do it there, drunk.
No.
No, I'm gonna
Absolutely
do it
not.
here, and you're gonna be there.
Yeah.
We'll see who we can
You
get.
got a laptop, right?
And yeah, I mean, bye, and thanks for listening. And
Listen, Mike, I'm trying to give the people what they want and speak truth.
And I'm trying to end the podcast.
okay,
Alright, bye everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for
the fuck out.
coming.
Thanks for dog
Thanks
coming.
for coming.
I hate this.
Bye.
Anyway, catch y'all next time. I will see you guys in 3 weeks, I guess. Bye.